Start it up.
I don't even know if I timed that right. You can see my boomer technology. So another time for another boomer reviews, even though I'm not a boomer, because I didn't have rich parents, nor did I have tuition that cost me 30 cents per credit. But I am old, and there was the time in the day where I had to become an adult and stop playing video games. Not that I didn't, like, oh, it was beneath me, as I didn't have time. And then also, I'm cheap, as Modern Life John will attest to. And I have a hard time dropping $60 on a video game. And I don't know what it was. I think like after Xbox 360, whatever that shit, PlayStation 2 and Xbox 360, that was it. And then once they turned consoles into PCs without the keyboard, quite literally in Xbox's case, because you wonder why Xbox updates all the time, it's because it's running Windows. That's why. I was like, no, I destroyed my PS4. Was like, well, you gotta download updates. So you gotta we're dead. And we know you bought the game, but you gotta download the game still. This disc only gives you permission and like has a third of the game on it. And that was it. That's where I was like, nope, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'll go back and play legacy games. And that's what I've done. Now, thankfully, two things happened. One, I finally started, the workload backed off, finished building a house, could start playing video games again. And I got a Nintendo Switch, which I'm a Nintendo man from here on out until, of course, that screws up. And maybe, I don't know, Sony or... Is Xbox even going to make it? Like, what, Microsoft, why are you trying? Are you going to come up with the Xbox 2? Is that where then? Oh, that was a fun thing. Let me tell you, you make fun of me for being a boomer. Guy who doesn't have the patience to sit there and download for 16 hours. Well, it's because I have a job and I don't live with my mom off of fake disability payments for my made up attention deficit disorder disease while I pop Adderall because I don't have a life. I got things to do. I don't have time to sit there. Oh yeah. So I don't know why you even bother trying Xbox. Why are you going to try? So with Nintendo, foreign concept. Sit down, everybody. Everybody got their sitting down chair. Check this out. So I go to the store. Now it could be online or in person, but I go to the store and I ordered the game. And I put the game into the Switch and it plays. Whoa! Whoa! Everybody over there in Seattle contemplating suicide because you're in the Pacific Northwest. You don't see no sun sometime. Sit down, Microsoft employees. Sit down. Crazy. So I would go through all these legacy games that I didn't have time to play because I was being an adult, building a house and, investing and not living at home. That was another, before I go on to the actual, that was another thing I bought. I bought used. I always go used. I never do new. Not that desperate to play these games. I bought, was it Battlefield 1? And I got through the campaign in about 3 hours. I'm like, that was it. And I find out, oh, some of these games don't even launch with a campaign. Oh, you want a game? It's just for online access. I'm like, okay, all right. The industry has moved on. So, like movies, like Hollywood, like comic books, we're going to go legacy. I'm going to review Saints Row 3. Saints Row 3, I have that for Switch. And I believe it was for Xbox 360. Maybe it was on Xbox One, but it played well on the Switch. And this is the first game that I can remember in a long time, aside from a few cheap first-person shoot-'em-ups, that I conquered the game. I was playing a game called Mafia. Great game. Until I got to shoot the engines out of a plane, and they give me about, 3 nanoseconds to do it. Oh, plane got away. Blip, plane got away. Like, yeah, you mistake me for these fat Zoomers living at home, still sucking off their mom's tit and collecting a government check, don't you? With their sociology degree. I could see why you would put some really hard stages in there. But that's because I'm not your audience. Your audience has nowhere important to be. And so I stopped playing that. It was a great game. Otherwise, I really enjoyed it. It was too bad that hey, let's put this impossibly hard thing to just really piss off anyone with a job. But Saints Row 3 wasn't like that. Open environment. I started playing Saints Row 1, kind of like Crackdown. I think I started playing Crackdown 2, and then I found out there were 2 more, and I was like, oh, these are good. And they were very good games. But then I played Saints Row 1. It's like the Lego version. I don't know when it came out, but it came out a while ago. And I'm like, "Whoa, this is simple." Even the first, well, not the very first Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto 2, I believe, was like its modern incarnation. But I'm like, "Wow, my nieces could probably play this." It was pretty simple, pretty simple. But Saint Row, I haven't played Saints Row 2, but Saints Row 3, yeah, it was a solid game. You had all these different cars, you could customize them, you could customize your person. You unlock all these things, little fun side stuff going on. The main gameplay was a little confusing. I had a download where it updated and I got some extra um, missions to do, some of which weren't required for the main mission. So I had to look that up, figure like, well, how do I advance the mission? It doesn't take itself too seriously, kind of funny. There's some brilliant, like clever, creative. They must have had good writers. The one where they have some voice actors. This is a 2013 video game. So they had voice actors like Trisha Takanawa from Family Guy, and then the guy talks like this from Robot Chicken. He's in there. And the mission you do with him as a character, which is like a dark and gloomy night, and they're resurrecting one of the gang members from the dead. That was brilliant. That was hilarious. And so it was just, you can level up. You get a tank right off the bat. I like the fact I got a tank. There wasn't much to complain about. Sometimes you got to figure out, like, okay, how do I get the hose in the car? Where are the hose? Where am I going? Um, the airport part, you can unlock a crib, which is the airport hangar. Very undeveloped. I thought, like, well, can I go in the crib? You can't go in the crib. You just got to run from all the bad guys. You go to this purple circle, and then you get in a plane, and they're still attacking you. You get an A-10 Warthog. It was over the top in a good way. And inevitably, you play the game. Now, I ended up maxing out at level 50 just by driving around with the tank and blowing up things. You can blow up any one of the gang members. You start shooting at them, more and more gang members show up, which means more and more experience points. So you could just sit there with the tank for a good 3 or 4 hours and level up. And then you're more or less invincible when you get to level 50. So then the rest of the missions are pretty easy. And maybe I like that. Maybe I'll just have to play it on Canadian mode, which is easy mode for Americans. They got that. There's like, what is it? Real, hardcore, veteran, normal, novice, rookie, God, and above God is Canadian mode. Where it's like, oh, here, the government just paid for you to win the game. There's the final cutscene, and here's some money. You're such a good Canadian. Actually, the Canadian, if it's Canadian mode, you just have you have Americans play for you, just like the military. Ha ha! Oh, zing. It's hard. Can the Americans do it? We have 3 planes to protect us from the Russians. Anyway, but yeah, it was a good game. Good plot. A lot of side quests, a lot of side things. Characters are pretty funny. The 2 guys that play chess all the time. You could tell effort went into this. Now, I heard Saints Row 4 Reelected was the last real one they did. Then Saints Row 5 came out recently. I guess that's woke trash. Because now it's cool hip Zoomers. They're young millennials with tats and they got IPAs. And I've watched enough reviews. I'm like, no, I'm not going to get that one. And I guess the gameplay is bad. But Saints Row 3 is not. So I would imagine, I haven't played Saints Row 4, but if you like the Saints Row series, this is about as good as it got. Saints Row 4 is slightly different. I guess you play a superhero in a artificial environment, but the gameplay is kind of the same. So kind of mindless fun. Saints Row 5, I think they made it more like a Far Cry 6, same of the same, but this time, hey, look, woke people and some minorities and some women. Oh, they're going to be lesbian. Oh my God. Yes, guys, that's why I want to shell out $60 for a game. But that was it. So there you go. I would recommend you buy it. It is a good game. You will get your money's worth out of it because it's cheap now. I think I paid like $7 for it. I get you young kids with your disability checks and your Adderall addictions, you go pay $60 for it with mom's credit card. You go and then after you conquer it, then you sell it to me for $7 and I'll take it. We got any super chats? Battlefield 3. I've probably played that one. Best boomer shooter I've played since. Have you played Battlefield Bad Company 1 or 2? Those are my favorite Battlefields, and they are some of my favorite video games of all time. Simple first-person shooter, but the characters and the plot are perfect. And then they stopped it. Then you said, nope, we're not going to do Battlefield Bad Company anymore. There were too many people having too much fun with that game. Jerson Barahana. Can I borrow a couple dollars? I don't get my welfare check till the 3rd. Are you a woman with big boobs? I'm not a rich man with lots of money. Saints Row 2 was the best overall. Okay, I'll have to play it. Black Kojak, ever play God of War 2018? No, I have not. I might have to get. Is it worth it? I presume it's worth it if you recommend. Oh, here it is. That's one of the best made games of all time. All right, I'll go get it. Far Cry 6. What Far Cry wasn't crap? I appreciate it when you got a good game, you kind of repeat what you're doing, but it's just, all right, here you are in another jungle. Here you are in a jungle in India. Now you're in a jungle in Peru. Now it's this group of minorities that are playing the game. Oh, now you play women with pink camo. Oh boy. Ooh. I appreciate Assassin's Creed, Origins, and Odyssey, pretty much the exact same game, but two distinctly separate worlds with different plot lines. Outstanding games, spectacular games. Same game, but they changed. And it wasn't like, hey, we're in a jungle again, except this time, spin the wheel, black, spin the wheel, transgender, spin the wheel, wheelchair guy, gal, is your main protagonist. No, beforehand it was, what was the character's name? I forget the two names. There's the Greek guy and the Egyptian guy. Those are the guys. Those are the guys you play. No, you don't get to customize it. You're playing an Egyptian. No, you don't get to customize it. You're playing the Greek dude. That's it. There you go. There's we're all playing the same guy. Far Cry 6, I stopped at Far Cry 3, I think. I was like, nah, that's enough. That's enough. Yeah, Battlefield Bad Company was epic because it was a game for guys, a bunch of dudes picking on each other. Haggard, Sweetwater, Preston, and Sarge. There you go. There was your team. One's a crazy guy with the explosives, the other's a nerdy Jewish guy. You're the normal guy, and Sarge just wants to retire. And nope, you're gonna go fight the Russians. That's what you're gonna do. Oh, we get super chat here. Chrome Gear in real life, $5. I love Saints Row 3 and 4. Agents of Mayhem is not bad either. I just want to shut my brain off for a bit and relax. Yeah, it's kind of where I'm going, but I don't want it so simple that I gotta I don't want to be too picky with my games. They just got to be fun. They got to work. I can't download them. I don't want to download the games. I just want to plug it in, or I download it and there's one download. The main thing, my system can't update all the time because it's running on Microsoft Windows. I just will not buy an Xbox of any kind ever again. Because Microsoft's just save at 3 nickels. They're going to install the system. Yep, Windows. Like, okay, and I'll just become part of the PC master race. Far Cry 3 and ones after Far Cry 3 are trash or usually involve drugs or hallucinations. Yeah, I don't. Thank you, Bayek and Alexios. Yep. I'm kind of sad in the Greek one that the little girl, not Sophie, Phoebe, that Phoebe died. I thought he'd have his little kid sister. It was very endearing how he had this little girl that just thought he was the coolest guy ever, wanted to follow him around. And then unfortunately she dies. Dong is fun, $2. Battlefield Special Weapons was the best. Battlefield special weapons? I don't might recall a lot of special weapons. All right. There you go. I'll see you guys later. Toodles.